Have you ever noticed how the loudest moments in your life aren't the ones filled with shouting or chaos? Sometimes it's the quiet, an empty room, a silent phone, or a look that says everything without a single word. It's strange how silence can cut deeper than any argument ever could. What if I told you that silence is not just the absence of noise, but a force that shifts power without a sound? Imagine a room where everyone is talking, trying to be heard, but one person simply stops explaining themselves. Suddenly, the entire energy changes. The tension melts, the crowd waits, and the room bends to the rhythm of quiet. This isn't weakness. It's a subtle kind of strength, one most people overlook because they're too busy trying to be loud. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do isn't to speak up, but to hold your silence. What would happen if you tried that? Could silence be your ultimate weapon? Silence doesn't just fill space, it changes it. It makes others lean in, question, wonder. When you stop explaining, stop reacting, stop chasing, you create a void that forces reflection. What if the people around you began to wonder, why isn't she responding? Why isn't he fighting back? That's where real power lives, inside the unexpected stillness. We're taught that being heard means talking more, explaining ourselves endlessly, justifying every feeling like we're on trial for being human. But what if true control came from choosing not to engage? Not out of fear, but because you know your worth and refuse to give it away for free. This quiet resistance shifts the whole dynamic. It unsettles those who thrive on your reactions. It demands that they face themselves instead of distracting through your emotional labor. So next time the noise rises, consider the power of your silence, because sometimes saying nothing says everything. Now let me ask you something personal. What if you did the same? What if, instead of reacting to every ping on your phone, every comment that stings, every guilt trip that lands, you chose to pause? What if you didn't give them the satisfaction of seeing you spiral? What if you stopped chasing validation that never truly filled the void inside? Have you noticed how often you bend yourself just to avoid conflict or keep the peace? How many times have you swallowed your truth just to make someone else feel comfortable? And in those moments, did you feel lighter, or like a piece of you was slipping away? Maybe you're tired of being the one who explains, the one who fixes, the one who absorbs chaos just so others can stay calm. What if you stopped? What if, just once, you let the world adjust to you? Would it still spin the same way? Would they chase you, or would they let you go without a fight? If you stopped reacting, how would your days change? Would you feel more at peace or more alone? Because here's the truth. Sometimes the hardest battles aren't with others, they're with ourselves. The fear of being abandoned, the fear of being misunderstood, the fear of finally saying no and not being invited back. But what if that fear is louder than the reality? When you stop bending to fit the mold others expect, you reclaim space. Space for your own feelings, your own boundaries, your own growth. It's uncomfortable at first, like stepping into a silence you don't recognize. But that silence isn't empty. It's your soul whispering, "I'm still here." This is where you start to meet yourself again. Not the version molded by survival, not the personality patched together by other people's expectations. The you that existed before the world told you who to be. And here's where the shift begins. Most of us believe that being available, responsive, and endlessly giving is kindness. That if we say yes enough, explain enough, show up enough, we'll be good people. But what if I told you that this belief is a trap? Availability isn't always kindness. Sometimes it's a leash made of guilt, of people-pleasing, of self-abandonment. When you respond immediately, over-explain, or guilt yourself into yes after yes, you're handing over your power. Not all at once, but slowly, bit by bit. Until one day, you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back. You don't know where your needs end and others begin. You've been so busy trying to keep the peace that you've forgotten how to feel peace. But it doesn't have to stay this way. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become, and it starts here with this moment of quiet clarity. What does it truly mean to say, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become"? On the surface, it sounds simple, but beneath those words lies a profound invitation, the power to rewrite your story. It's a call to stop letting the past dictate your present identity, to take back control of the narrative you live by. Think about it. How often do you catch yourself trapped in the story of your past? The mistake you made, the pain you endured, the ways you were misunderstood or hurt. It can feel like those events branded you forever, etched your identity in stone. But Jung challenges us to see that this isn't the final chapter. It's just the beginning. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not have to define you. This is hard to accept because trauma and struggle leave marks that run deep. They shape our worldview, our habits, our sense of safety. Sometimes those marks become shields we hide behind. I'm broken because of what happened. I'm damaged beyond repair. This is just who I am. But what if those beliefs are illusions? What if they're the chains you can choose to unlock? You have a choice. You can remain imprisoned by the past, or you can become the architect of your future. Choosing who you become means embracing your power to heal, to grow, and to transcend old wounds. It doesn't erase what happened, it acknowledges it, but it refuses to let it hold the reins. Here's an important truth. Healing is not linear. You might find yourself revisiting old pain again and again. You might stumble, fall, or retreat in fear. And that's okay, because choosing to become someone new isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about rising after every fall and saying, "This is not my end." Jung's quote reminds us that transformation is an active process. It's not passive acceptance of what life dealt you. It's an intentional decision every single day. It's waking up and deciding who you want to be, beyond the scars, beyond the labels. Imagine waking up tomorrow and shedding the story of your limitations. What if instead of "I'm a failure because I was rejected," you said, "I am learning how to grow stronger every day"? What if you replaced "I'm not worthy because of my past" with "I am worthy because I choose to be"? This shift changes everything, because identity is a story you tell yourself over and over until it becomes true. If you keep telling yourself you're a victim, you'll feel powerless. If you tell yourself you're a survivor, you'll find strength you didn't know you had. And if you tell yourself you're a creator of your destiny, you step into a whole new realm of possibility. Now let's pause and reflect on the role of choice in all this. Choice is the bridge between your past and your future. No matter what's happened, you always have the power to choose your response. You might not control the hand you're dealt, but you control how you play it. Even in the darkest moments, you can choose hope. You can choose growth. You can choose love, especially for yourself. This is where Jung's insight shines brightest. The I in his statement is not a passive bystander. It is an active creator, not a product of circumstance, but a force of will. That force can be small or vast, quiet or bold, but it is always present, waiting for you to awaken it. Let me ask you now, how often do you make choices that honor your true self? Or do you find yourself defaulting to old patterns that no longer serve you? Maybe it's easier to stay small, familiar, safe. But safety without growth is stagnation. And stagnation breeds resentment, bitterness, and sorrow. You deserve more than that. You deserve to choose who you become. This is your permission slip. To step off the path carved by others, to break free from the identity assigned to you by your past pain, to rewrite your story in your own words. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now, because every moment you delay is a moment lost to old fears and doubts. You don't have to be defined by what happened to you. You get to be defined by what you decide to create next. This choice is not about erasing your history. It's about owning it without letting it own you. So many of us carry invisible weights, regrets, shame, guilt. But those weights only bind us if we allow them. Jung's words give us a roadmap out of that burden. The past is a chapter, not the whole book, and you hold the pen. As you sit with this idea, notice what feelings come up. Is there resistance, fear, hope, excitement? Whatever it is, honor it. Transformation is a process, not a switch. It requires courage, the courage to look inward, face discomfort, and keep moving forward. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to stumble. It's okay to rest, but never forget, you have the power to become. You are not the sum of what happened to you. You are the promise of who you will choose to be. When we talk about choosing who we become, it's important to recognize the role of awareness in this process. Awareness is the light that shines on the shadowy parts of ourselves we tend to avoid. Carl Jung taught us that the unconscious mind holds many parts of us we don't readily see, our fears, wounds, and patterns. These hidden parts influence our behavior and choices, often without us realizing it. So, the journey to becoming who you choose to be starts with shining that light on your unconscious. Ask yourself, what parts of my past am I still carrying around? What beliefs do I hold about myself that might not be true anymore? Maybe you believe deep down that you're not worthy of happiness because of something that happened years ago. Or perhaps you think you must always put others first, even when it drains you completely. These beliefs often come from old programming, messages absorbed from family, culture, or painful experiences. But they don't have to define you. Here's where choice becomes revolutionary. Choosing who you become means choosing to face those shadows, not to be overwhelmed by them, but to understand and integrate them. This is Jung's concept of individuation, the process of becoming your whole, authentic self by embracing both your light and your shadow. Individuation isn't easy. It demands honesty and courage. It means sitting with discomfort rather than running from it. It means questioning long-held assumptions about yourself and the world. But through this process, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of your past and start being the artist of your life. Think about it. How much energy have you wasted trying to hide or deny parts of yourself? How many times have you felt fragmented, torn between who you are and who you think you should be? Integration heals that split. It allows you to say, yes, this happened to me, but it doesn't control me. Yes, I have fears and flaws, but they are part of my humanity, not my entire identity. This healing creates space for growth, creativity, and freedom. It opens the door to new possibilities. You begin to act not out of old wounds, but out of conscious choice. Now, consider the impact this has on your relationships. When you choose who you become, you model authenticity. You invite others to do the same. No longer trapped in roles dictated by past pain or expectations, your connections deepen. People respond to your presence, not to a mask or persona. This vulnerability builds trust and intimacy. But remember, this is a process. You might face resistance from within and without. Old habits die hard. People around you might not understand your transformation. They might resist change because it challenges their comfort zones. That's okay. Change often feels lonely, but solitude in transformation is sacred space, where growth happens unseen. Carl Jung said, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you." This is the loneliness of the authentic self emerging. You might feel misunderstood or isolated, but hold steady. This solitude is your soul's laboratory. It's where you build the strength to become who you choose. Now, a question for you. What small step can you take today to choose yourself more fully? Maybe it's setting a boundary you've avoided. Maybe it's challenging a limiting belief. Maybe it's simply sitting quietly and reflecting on who you want to be. Every step matters. Every choice, no matter how small, contributes to your transformation. It's the daily acts of courage that build a new identity. The daily refusal to be defined by past pain. As you practice this, you'll notice subtle shifts. Your inner dialogue softens from criticism to compassion. Your reactions slow down. You choose responses aligned with your true self. And over time, these moments accumulate into profound change. Jung also reminds us that this journey is cyclical, not a straight line. You may revisit old wounds, but each time with more awareness and strength. This is growth, not failure. Transformation is messy, unpredictable, and deeply human, and that's beautiful. Embrace it. Because by choosing who you become, you step into a power beyond circumstance. You become a beacon, not just for yourself, but for others seeking freedom from their own pasts. This is the legacy of Jung's wisdom, a reminder that the I is not a victim or a product. The I is a creator, a continual work in progress, capable of becoming more whole, more alive, more free. So hold on to that truth. Return to it when fear or doubt creep in. When the weight of your past feels heavy, remind yourself, you are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become. What if I told you that every moment is an opportunity to step into your power, to choose the person you want to become, rather than be held hostage by what has already happened? This idea that transformation is available now, not someday, shifts everything. It means you don't have to wait until you're fixed or ready. You don't need permission from anyone else. The choice is always yours. But why then do so many of us feel stuck? Why does it feel like our past has a hold on us that we just can't break? The answer often lies in the stories we tell ourselves. These narratives about who we are, what's possible, what we deserve, shape our identity more than we realize. If your story is, I'm broken or I'm a failure, it's going to be hard to step into a new self. The choice is always yours. But why then do so many of us feel stuck? Why does it feel like our past has a hold on us that we just can't break? The answer often lies in the stories we tell ourselves. These narratives about who we are, what's possible, what we deserve, shape our identity more than we realize. If your story is, I'm broken or I'm a failure, it's going to be hard to step into a new self. But here's the power of choice again. You get to rewrite that story. It's not easy, of course, because your old story is familiar, comfortable, even if painful. It's like an old pair of shoes, worn out but fitting just right. Choosing a new story means trying on unfamiliar shoes, stumbling, adjusting, and eventually walking more freely. One way to start rewriting your story is through self-compassion. Instead of judging yourself for where you've been or what you've done, try meeting yourself with kindness. Recognize that you are human, flawed, learning. Brené Brown, a leading researcher on vulnerability, reminds us that courage is born from compassion toward ourselves. It takes courage to face your past without running away or numbing out. It takes courage to claim your worth, especially if you've been told otherwise. It takes courage to choose who you become, step by step. Another key part of this process is setting intention. What do you want to cultivate in your life? Peace, joy, freedom? Write it down. Say it aloud. Return to it often. Your intention becomes a compass that guides you through the noise and chaos. When triggers arise, those moments when old wounds try to pull you back, you can lean into your intention instead. It's a tool to help you respond rather than react. Respond with awareness, with choice. This is what Jung meant when he said, between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. That space is where transformation happens. It's the pause before you fall into old patterns, where you can decide who you want to be in that moment. And it's in those moments, repeated over time, that the new you is born. Now, let's talk about the fear that often comes with choosing who you become. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of losing what's familiar, even if it's painful. This fear is real and valid, but it's also a sign you're growing. Fear is often the edge of your comfort zone, the boundary where transformation begins. Instead of running from it, lean into it. Acknowledge the fear and keep moving forward anyway. This is where the magic happens. Imagine a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. The struggle to break free is essential for its wings to develop strength. Without that struggle, the butterfly would never fly. Your fears and challenges are part of your transformation cocoon. They're not obstacles to avoid, but essential parts of becoming who you choose to be. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. Seek support from those who encourage your growth. Therapists, mentors, friends, people who see your potential and hold space for your journey. But ultimately, the choice and the work belong to you. This brings us to the power of daily rituals in shaping who you become. Small, consistent actions add up. Whether it's journaling, meditation, exercise, or simply taking a few deep breaths in moments of stress, these rituals anchor you in your intention. They remind your brain and body of your commitment to change. Think of it like watering a plant. You don't have to pour a river every day. Just a little consistent care nurtures growth over time. Finally, let's explore the ripple effect of choosing who you become. When you step into your power, you inspire others to do the same. Your transformation becomes a quiet revolution. You break cycles of pain and limitation. You create new possibilities, not just for yourself, but for your family, community, and beyond. Jung said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." This isn't just a statement of personal empowerment, it's a call to collective healing. Each of us holds the potential to change the narrative, to rewrite not just our own story, but the story of humanity. So as you continue on this path, remember, you are not your past, you are not your mistakes, you are the sum of your choices, right here, right now. And every choice you make is a step toward becoming your true self. Have you ever felt the quiet power of a decision? The moment when something inside you shifts and you realize you no longer have to be who you were yesterday? That moment is the heartbeat of Jung's truth. I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become. But what does it really mean to choose who you become? Choice isn't just a single act, it's a continuous journey. Every day you wake up with hundreds of little decisions: how to speak to yourself, how to show up for others, how to handle setbacks, how to nurture hope. Each choice is a thread weaving the tapestry of your life. And here's the key: when you begin to notice these choices, you reclaim your power. You stop being a passive passenger in your story and become its author. This is the essence of transformation: awareness and intentionality. Awareness of where you've been, of the stories you've been told and the wounds you carry. Intentionality in deciding what to keep and what to release. This process demands honesty, a raw, unflinching look at yourself, not to condemn, but to understand. Because healing grows from understanding, not judgment. And from that understanding, you cultivate the courage to make new choices. Some choices will be easy, letting go of a small habit or thought pattern. Others will challenge you deeply, setting boundaries, forgiving yourself, stepping into vulnerability. But every choice matters. The small victories build momentum for the bigger ones. In fact, transformation is rarely a grand event. It's a series of tiny, brave acts that compound over time: a smile in the mirror on a hard day, a refusal to engage in old patterns, a moment of stillness instead of reaction. These seemingly small acts are revolutionary. They chip away at the old self and carve space for the new. Now let's talk about the inevitable setbacks. Change is messy. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, you'll find yourself slipping back into old habits or negative self-talk. This isn't failure. It's part of the process. Like walking a winding path, you may have to backtrack or rest before moving forward again. The important part is to keep moving, keep choosing. Be patient with yourself. Jung himself said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This is not a race, it's a lifetime journey. So celebrate progress, no matter how small. Each step is a victory against the pull of old wounds and conditioning. Another powerful aspect of choosing who you become is embracing your shadows. Jung taught us about the shadow, the parts of ourselves we deny or hide because they feel unacceptable or painful. To truly choose your path, you must acknowledge these shadows without letting them define you. This means seeing your fears, anger, jealousy, or shame clearly, and choosing to integrate them as parts of your whole self, not enemies to be banished. Integration frees you from the unconscious forces that control you. It allows you to respond with awareness rather than reaction. By embracing your shadows, you gain wholeness. This wholeness is the foundation of authentic transformation. As you move through this journey, remember to surround yourself with reminders of your power. Books, music, art, people, practices that inspire you and keep you connected to your intention. These anchors help when the road feels long or lonely. And when doubt creeps in, because doubt will come, lean into these supports. Remember, you are never truly alone in your transformation. Countless others are walking the same path, grappling with their pasts, choosing their futures. Your choice to become who you want to be ripples beyond you. It influences those around you, creating new possibilities in the world. So what do you choose? To be defined by your past, or to redefine your future? To be held back by old stories, or to write new ones? To be stuck in pain, or to move toward healing? Each day, each moment, you have this power. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become. This is your invitation, to step into the unknown, to embrace your full humanity, to become the person you were always meant to be. It won't be easy, it won't be fast, but it will be worth it. Because the life on the other side of choice is freedom. Freedom from the past, from limitations, from fear. Freedom to create, to love, to grow. And it starts with one step, one choice, one moment of courage. So now I want you to take a deep breath and repeat this to yourself. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Feel it. Own it. Let it settle deep inside. You have the power. You have the courage. You have the choice. Now step forward. Rewrite your story. Choose your path. Become your true self. And if this resonates with you, drop a comment below. I choose to become. Let's walk this journey together, one choice at a time.